see here what we do. Well, hello everyone. How's it going today? Oh my goodness. We got some folks in here already. Who we got here? What do we got on a Friday? James is here. James says, happy Friday. Jamming the G major minor blues backing tracks from the Blues Elevation Toolkit Vault. Best 20 bucks. He's spending ages. Awesome. Thank you. I was just, what I was doing today was making new backing tracks for the Chord Elevation Toolkit. So we got some cool ones. They're a little bit more rock and a little bit less, but some blues in there too. Good evening. It's Phil. It's Phil. Hey, Phil. Going through the toolkit himself. Wonderful bit of kit. Looking forward to the completion of the chord. Hey, it's coming. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. James says, me too. Phil says, it was nice meeting you guys in the meetup section. Yes, it was great seeing your face all the way there. Yeah, that's good to see you. We had fun yesterday in our Academy Q&As that we do on Wednesdays, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Evan's here. Aaron's here. Good to see you, Aaron. Evan said it got warm again today. I was reading something about snow. I don't really understand that. Did someone get snow and it wasn't expected? I think Dean's here. Happy Friday, Dean. Great to see you. Let's see here. If you like the cold, I can put you up. Phil says if you like the Does it get cold in Wales? I would assume so, right? Let's see here. Evan says we had real snow this past January, like 12 inches. Okay, that's from back then. There. All right. Well, good to see everybody. Warren's here. Great to see you, Warren. We're talking about taking some chords and making some songs out of them. How many people here have written a song before, even if it's just for yourself, even if you never played it or showed it to anyone? How many people have just decided, hey, I'm going to write a song today? I've done many of those. In fact, I was just doing that right in the beginning. I was searching around for a couple chords, came across this D, which kind of sat nicely with me, and I wanted to do a walking down bass line. And usually those will go, if it's major, it goes from the root to the major seventh, which is C sharp in the key of D, to B, which would, the sixth, to the 5, which is in A. And then I said, well, then I went to the 4 chord in the key of D. The 4 chord is a G. And I thought, well, how can I continue and I said, okay, it's gone down too much. Let's go back up. So I went back to the 4 and then to the 5 chord, right? I just did that while we were. Took me a couple times to get through it, though. I hope you can hear me okay. The microphone's a little far away here. Let me fix that really quickly. There we go. Oh, let's see here. James says he has. Evan says, I have about 4 fully written and love to write more. Oh, wait, 5. You forgot about that one. That one there. So we're going to be talking. I got a little outline here. I'm probably not going to use it, but as always, I start off. At least I have something, right? Well, what we've done this week, Monday, we talked about the rhythm grid, right? How to map out rhythms and how to plan which one you're going to play and where they all sit and which ones that come in and go out. Then we talked about accenting notes and feel on Tuesday. Wednesday, we talked about chord movement, cool little small things that we move between chords. These are fun little lessons that we've been doing. I wish I had something like this when I was starting. We talked about chord colors, right? And so today we're talking about taking all of those things and what do you do with them? You got all this information now. You know your chords. We know how to classify them. We know how to strum them. We've got some different accents we can use. We know how to move between them. If you want to get into embellishments, that's part of the chord toolkit. But today we're going to put it all together. And so one of the first things you want to do is start with a chord and get a basic strumming pattern, something from the rhythm grid that we talked about. This one. The basic strumming pattern for this is down, up, down, right? So I'm going 1, 2, 4. So 1, that's on 1, and then I have an up stroke before I come back down on 2. And then I hit this lower note right before 3 comes in. And then on 4, I play the chord again. So, da, ba, ba, bum, da, da, da. That's my basic strumming pattern, okay? I can take that across the whole song, or I can change it, or I can put it in different sections, but at least it's a starting point. The whole thing is getting a starting point, having an idea. The idea comes from finding some chords or a riff or, some sort of rhythm structure, and then having some chord structure, and then having a basic rhythm that goes along with it. And that's what I did. Next thing you're going to do is make some small movements, make the chords move a little bit, right? And that's what I was doing with the bass line with this. I could have just done the chords. That would be it. There it is. So this would be the basic chords: D, D, and then B minor to A, and then G to D, and then G to A. But I started off with the movement. I wanted to hear that movement first. So I'm taking the plain chords and making them a little bit more lifelike, a little bit moving a little bit. So then we're going to add a little color. You can change the chords a little bit. So here, D, and then I put a major 7th in the bass, right? So it adds tension. Went to a D over F sharp for this low bass line, right? So I'm just taking the chords, making them a little interesting to me, so I'm going to enjoy playing this thing, and I'll finish this song out. So the big part we're going to be talking about today, the whole point of this is talking about form of the songs. We haven't talked about form at all. We talked about progressions, individual chords, rhythms, but how do you put all of those things together in a song? A song has parts, right? So why does a song have parts? Why don't we just do the same thing throughout the song? David's here. Hey, David, good to see you. Evan's here. Evan says, oh, the other one, the one the band is doing. You forgot that was mine. You gave it to them. You forgot it was yours. Mr. Super Sidewinder's here. Well, hello there. Hey, Super Sidewinder. Great to see you. Aaron says, good hangout with the group. Dean and Evan and James and Phil, Warren and Mr. Hey, so you got all this. We got everybody in there. Awesome. Awesome. So we're going to be talking about form today. Let me go ahead and set up the blackboard over here. I do have to roll at 4:30 because I have a coaching student right at 4:30. But what we're going to do today here is we're going to talk about the form of a song. Well, we think of these, a typical song you'll think of as verse, chorus. That's a typical pop rock type song. So a verse tends to be the story, right? So we're setting up the big part. So this is the story. And the chorus tends to be the payoff. It could be the big, theme of the song. It could be a play on words. It could be it's something that is going to be memorable. So the verse, not so memorable, but it's setting up something. It creates a little tension, really. So you're building to something, and then the chorus is where it pays off. Then we tend to do it again. Why do we do it again? We'll do verse 2 and chorus 2. This tends to happen a lot. Mr. Super Sidewinder says, I like that. That's fun to say. Chords are like cooking. They need a bit of spices. You got that right. You got that right. So we've got our verse 2 and chorus 2. Why is that? Well, we have a short attention span. People, we like repetition. We don't like it for too long, though, right? So we don't mind something that repeats, but there's at a certain point, we all kind of tune out, right? So we're trying to keep these song forms interesting, okay? We've got a little bit of a story, and then it pays off. Because if it's too much story, you're going to tune out. You're going to go listen to something else or do something else, right? If the verse is too long, the verse can be, 8 measures 16, something like that. And then you're ready for something to happen. It could be a pre-chorus and then a chorus. And then after the chorus is done, oh, that's the theme of the song. You hit them with the story again. You hit them with verse 2, right? So we're continuing. There's a little bit more going on here, right? We're continuing with adding a little bit more tension. And what does that end up going to? Chorus 2, right? The second payoff. So we talk about our limited attention span, right? That's a lot. We've got a verse, a chorus, another verse, another chorus. At that point, you go, I got it. I know what this is about. I've got everything, right? I know the story. I know where it's going. The story. I got a little bit more of the story, and it went to the same place again. At that point, what happens? We're going to get ready to tune out again. Okay? So, what do you do after the second chorus? Evan or Aaron or anybody? What does Evan just say? Evan said, people have no short term. Yeah. So what's the goal with this? We want people to listen to our song for as long as we can. What do they say? 3 minutes and 15 seconds used to be what a song is. I bet it's probably like 2.5 minutes now. All right, that you can get people's attention. Ding, 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 ding. James got it. The bridge, something different. Evan's got it. Yeah, a change up, right? So we need something different at this point because you're on shaky ground after the second chorus. You know, a lot of us, when we listen to music, we're gone at that point, right? Oh, two chord, I got the song now. Well, what comes here? A bridge of some sort? Or could be an instrumental, a solo? Something different. Okay? Winner! That's right, you got that right. But let's see here. Okay, so let me get so we've got a verse, a chorus, another verse, another chorus, then a bridge section. So we're doing something different. And then once that something different happens, you start to forget, hey, I don't even remember what song we're listening to now. At that point, it's like a mental cleanse. You make you forget everything you've listened to. And then what happens after the bridge and after the solo, you revisit the main part again. A chorus, maybe chorus 3, or sometimes even verse 3, chorus 3, right? Because we just had that what is it? Squirrel moment, right? Bridge. Whoa, we got that. What were we doing in the first place? We can't remember. Oh yeah, we're listening to the song. Bring it back again. Now it's nostalgic. I remember that thing I was listening to 2.5 minutes ago. That was great. Here I am listening to it again. Nostalgia, right? I love that time 2.5 minutes ago. Right? So we're back at the end, right? Some sort of chorus. Again, sometimes they'll do it 2 times. Sometimes you have a verse and a chorus. And this whole deal can be bookended with an intro and an outro, right? Something to lead you in and something to take you out there, right? So here we go. We've got intro, verse, chorus, verse 2, chorus 2, bridge or solo or both, chorus 3, maybe 2 times, and then out. And that's about all you're going to get. This is when everybody, they stop thinking, right? They're like, I'm ready for something new. I'm done with that. That's as much of that song as I'm going to take. It's not like back in the 60s where you could listen to the Allman Brothers for half an hour. Do a whole deal, right? We got a bunch of stuff in here. I got to stop. I got to go back. I'm missing a lot of good stuff in the chat today. Oh, I gotta keep my eye on the clock here. Right. So Evan says, I listen to Pink Floyd. I like 20-minute songs. I do too. Not everybody does though. Aaron says, true, won't find another song like In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida. Yeah, they don't really do that too often anymore. Mr. Super Sidewinder, who was won that last one. Phil says, hate repetition, but pretty ironic. One of my favorite all-time albums was Deja Vu by... That's right. Let's see here. Good times, moments, so 5. Okay, good time moments are 5. Okay, 5 ago. Okay, all right. Iron Butterfly, love that song when it came out. Freshman in high school when that one came out. And people are still asking for it. It happens. He says, oh boy, we're back at the beginning. Hold on. Evan says, do you remember on The Simpsons where Bart put the sheet music for In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida? Gotta had a Davida on the organ and they played it like a hymn. Right. No, I don't remember that one. That sounds funny though. Yes is known for long songs, which are wonderful. Yeah. That was kind of normal back then. Not so much now. People are people are just upset all the time. They ain't got time for that. They ain't got time for none of that stuff. It's very rich content and comments today. Right. That's right. We're having a good time. Right. And Evan says the church organist collapsed at the end. Okay. I'll see that. My daughter's seen all of them. I'll have to ask her which one that was. So here we are. We've got our thing here. You might call this A, B, A, right? An A section repeated, then a B section, something different, and then an A at the end. This is one way people describe forms of songs. There's lots of different types of forms of songs. It gets very complicated. But the thing to pay attention to is that there is a form to it. Something simple like that. There are jazz songs. When you go to play a jazz gig, you see the big book that they all have, the real book. It's got like 300 songs in it, and basically all it is the melody and the chord progression. And what those the form of those songs is, well, what we're going to do is we're going to play the melody, and then we're just going to jam for an hour and a half, and then we're going to play the melody again. Right? So that's kind of an A-B-A, right? We get the beginning, then the end, then the beginning again, right? That tells you it's over. And sometimes in the A section, there might be an A and a B section, so the solo would be the C. So you might be A, B, C, A, B. There's lots of different ones, but my point is, you've got some chords, you got a strumming pattern, there's an idea, but that's not a song yet. It's part of a song. So we need to get some things to play off of that. Now, you could change the melody and keep that chord progression and make that the chorus. Or I could... Here's the verse. So I did a little pre-chorus. I was building up. And instead of going to the D, which was the key of this song, I went to its relative minor, which is B minor. Okay? And then I went to G, which is the 4 chord, right? So I just took an idea and I said, well, what's a very strong relationship? Well, the relative major and minor is a very strong relationship. I'm going to play a chorus with a chord that matches really well, but is different. So this is a minor, and then to a 4 chord. And then how do I get back to the D? Well, we always have that trick of the 5 chord going back to the 1 chord. What's the 5 in D? A. So I'm going to try to make it to an A of some sort. G, A. Come back. Verse 2. Pre-chorus, chorus. That's my A. It's going to bring me back to my D chord there. So there, I've got a verse and a chorus. Well, that's close. I could have a song there, right? But what if I did... I just hit my mouse and it knocked me right out of here. Uh-oh, I'm back here. But I do have to leave in a few minutes. But I hope you're seeing the part that people miss the most. They come up with a little idea. It's fun. They play it, and then if they don't record it, they forget it the next day. Or if they play it over time, we've got these little nuggets, these little parts of songs. But then afterwards, putting them together is the part that's going to actually make it real. right? Going to make it something that you can share with other people. So form of the song is the big thing that I'm talking about today. We're going to talk a lot more about forms and songwriting and all those things coming up next week. Next week is the big week. I'm going to be finishing the vault for the Chord Elevation Toolkit this weekend, and then we're going to start off with that. And throughout the week, I'm going to be debuting all the different new lesson material through that, with Friday being the big day for that. So we have a big build up. We'll be doing lives all next week. And let's see. I missed a few things before we go. Warren says the long Iron Maiden songs. They have a bunch of them too. How long is the Trooper? And that's what. Let's see, my friend. Okay, then we're talking about the Real Book. I remember when the Real Book was a black market item. I remember that. I remember you had to go certain places to get it. I remember. You wouldn't tell anybody about those places. They wouldn't. Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Directed to the trunk of somebody's car. Yeah, they used to do that too. Love a little songwriting insight for next week. Sounds good. Another gem. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you, Phil. I'll see you soon. Warren says, that was weird. Tornado watch alert popped up and my screen froze. Thought I was in trouble. I think I did it on my end. My hand hit this mouse here, and I've got a back, a back and a forward button on the side. I'm thinking that's what I did. So, but maybe it was Warren's tornado watch. Could be. Who knows? Dean. Thank you, Dean. Great to see you. Thank you, Aaron. Sam91, aloha to you. Great to see you. Thank you for typing in and letting us know that you're here. Very, very cool to see that. I've got to run right now. I've got a coaching student, but thanks to James and to Phil, and to Evan and to Aaron and Dean, and I did James, Warren. Thank you to Warren for hanging out with me today. We got the crew here. David's here. Great to see you, David. Thank you to Mr. Super Sidewinder, which is fun to say. And then down there, just before we're taking off here, Sam. Great to see you. Okay, everybody. I will see you on Monday. We'll be here today I had to do 4 o'clock, but it'll probably be sometime between 4 and 5, 4 or 4:30, something like that. Okay, everybody. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.